Good morning, old school Texas Tech. Hope everyone's doing well. I thought I would do an update, coaching carousel update, all sorts of stuff coming out about, especially one coach in our conference. People might be asking why we're a Texas Tech group, we're Texas Tech YouTube channel. Why are you talking so much about Gundy? I think Gundy's a big deal because I think it affects Texas Tech in the short term. Definitely could affect some of our transfer portal type decisions that start Monday. Also, think Gundy's a really important coach to the Big 12 conference. As of late last night, it looked like to me that he had been fired. There were several sources, that were reporting that he had been fired. Now it seems like maybe because of some of the blowback or something that those there's still some conversations going on, but it doesn't look good for him at Oklahoma State. I think it's bad for the Big 12 conference. It could be good for Texas Tech in the short term. The long term, who knows? Who knows? Who knows anything about the long term of college football right now? But anyway, that's the latest that I'm hearing about Gundy. Saw a couple of funny things on social media. People comparing it to the Mike Leach saga from what was it, 15 years ago now. People were saying that they should bring in Myers and Hance as consultants to help solve the problem up at Oklahoma State. I've never, I don't want to rehash the whole Leach deal, but I've always blamed Hance much more than Myers. I always kind of thought Myers got a bad rap on that deal. But anyway, Hance for sure was a villain in the Mike Leach termination. But anyway, I don't want to rehash all that, but it is kind of funny. Now I've now heard from the second podcaster YouTube channel. The Garret McGuire, Coach McGuire's son, is headed to Tech. I originally heard about it, heard that it was likely on the Locked On Texas Tech podcast, a podcast I've been watching for a few years called Slaughterhouse Sports, I believe. They're reporting the same thing that Garret McGuire is going to be a part of Mack Leftwich's offensive staff. Some people obviously are already talking about nepotism, and they don't think it's a good move. I've heard some of that from different people. My opinion on these kind of things, I think it can go either really well or it can go really bad. I have a good friend of mine who went to work for the family business, but before he went to go work for the family business, he went and worked in a similar for a similar company, a competitor basically, and kind of paid his dues. What I like about Garret McGuire is that he spent 2 years as an analyst at the Carolina Panthers and even stayed on after family friend Matt Rule had been terminated up there or out there. So I like that a lot. He was also the wide receiver coach at Nebraska for a couple of years. So this is not just a guy who doesn't have any experience. I think he's going to be good personally, and I think Coach McGuire's earned the right to hire his son if he wants to, especially a son who, by all accounts, seems qualified for some sort of role as an offensive assistant. I took some time today to watch. I had not watched press conferences with the two new coordinators. I just done a lot of reading about them. Watched Mack Leftwich first. Actually, if you want to know the actual YouTube press conference that I watched, it was actually from November 19th, 2024. It was a post game press conference, uh, or maybe it was a midweek press conference. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was very impressed. He sounds like a young Dana Holgerson. Uh, even has a similar accent to Holgerson. He talked about basically, he's going to always adjust to personnel. I was talking about how he had to win a game. They had to win a game out and with against, I believe it was Louisiana Monroe, where they had to run for over 300 yards. And because of the weather conditions, they really couldn't throw the football very well. I think they got like 400 yards of offense, 100 through the air, and 300 on the ground. So I like the fact that he's willing to adjust to personnel. Sounds like a really young, sharp guy. Yeah, like I said, the closest thing I could, closest comparison I could make would be to like a young Dana Holgerson. I listened to Sheil Wood's press conference. I don't have the exact date here, but I believe it was January 16th, 2024. And he was talking about his philosophy for players and what he's looking for with players and recruits, which is all of this is going to be important as they're all going to be super active starting on Monday. But I really liked what he had to say. He talked about speed. He wanted his players to be able to read and react quickly. And here's what I really like because I think all of us have seen it, especially since Ruffin McNeil left. I think Tech has at times made their defense too complicated, and he said that if it helps his players read and react quicker, he wants to keep his defenses as simple as possible. I really like to hear that because I just think there's no magic bullet with Texas Tech defense. I think it's about trying to keep it simple. And I know college football's evolved. The offenses have gotten very complicated to say the least. But anytime you can put your players into a position to where they can read and react quickly, I think he's got the right mindset coming in. He sounded extremely professional. He talked a lot about thanking a lot of people who had helped him get to that point, which was almost a year ago, and so I'm sure he's even more grateful as he gets the opportunity at Tech. So those are the updates I have on coaching. I'm going to shoot some videos today on the three most likely bowl opponents that I keep hearing about. I think it's going to have a lot to do who wins the Big 12 conference championship game later today. So I'll try to get that video out pretty quickly.